It is Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Now, we talked about this for several weeks, the NFL in general and how much tougher it's become to hold a lead, and we've seen that across the league. We saw it again in the Buffalo game yesterday, obviously in the Cowboys game. Is there anything that you think has made it more difficult in this league in general to hold on to a lead?
Well, I just think the biggest point of all is the parity in the league. I think if you look across the league, every team has the same salary cap that everybody spends to. Over a 5-year period, everybody for the most part will spend the exact same amount of money on players. The teams are sound, and so consequently they got high-end staffs and high-end personnel staffs that do a great job. And it's just a fine line out there. And you play against a guy like Aaron Rodgers, which, we got tons of respect for, as we said last week going into. I mean, he's backed into a corner and, he made some amazing plays for the Packers down the stretch, including the 4th and 6, which is, tough, knowing that he's got to throw it and, into what we do best, which is rush the passer and play pass defense. But, he made the play. Hats off to him. The rookie over there made, some big plays with his speed after a tough start. And, you just have to give the Packers the credit. Obviously a tough place to play, Lambeau. And, we've got to play better. I mean, usually, looking at how we played this year defensively, you feel pretty good about it going into the fourth quarter. But, that's at the end of the day, you're going against Aaron Rodgers in a very difficult place to play, and we didn't get the job done.
And you did speak about how well y'all play at pass defense, and that has kind of been one of the big keys of how limited your run defense has been or seemed in a lot of occasions. And they were committed yesterday. The Bears were committed to the run. That's happened 2 weeks now. What's the discussion like with Dan Quinn on, the adjustments or whatever needs to be done to fix the run defense at this point?
Well, we have complete confidence in Dan Quinn. I know he's going to continue to grind on it. And certainly we can be better. We have to be better. I mean, obviously that's the way teams are going to attack us. How many times do you ever see an Aaron Rodgers game where he throws at 20 and they run at 40? Probably not very often. Yeah. But we're probably going to keep seeing that. And I know Dan, he's the best of the best. And I know he'll keep going back to the drawing board with our players. We've got a great group of guys. Who've got a great mentality, a great play temperament, and I know this team certainly is overall that way as well. And know that we'll respond to this. And that was a very tough loss for everybody, but we just didn't get the job done. You have to give the Packers the credit.
Mike McCarthy was visibly very emotional right at the end of the game in overtime, and then even afterwards during his press conference, he threw his headset down and everything. A, have you seen McCarthy that emotional so far since he's been the coach of this team? And B, are those cheap headsets?
Well, first of all, hard to get a good laugh out of anybody today, but. Yep. At the end of the day, that game obviously was important to Mike. He wasn't going to kid anyone last week. Every player on our team knew how important it was. And, you go back home to a place where you just had, I think, unparalleled, I think maybe one coach in the history of the Packers may have had a couple more wins. But, that was an important game. And, especially when you look at how we set it up, after them getting the lead, having a great drive in the first half, and coming back with 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. And, you just really feel like, the way our team's played this year, we've been closing those games out. But as I said, you're going against Aaron Rodgers, and certainly somebody might, you can tell, with their interactions before the game, they have the utmost respect for one another. But, he did it to us again, and you got to give him credit.
Now, obviously, Anthony Brown had to leave the game with a concussion, and we see that a lot across sports. I'm hoping that you can walk everybody through, what exactly goes through the concussion protocol after the game to get him back onto the field in ensuing weeks.
Well, first of all, I think the league continues to get better. you like to hope that players self-report, but I think we're even doing a better job now of looking at players that might, want to work through it and do the old-fashioned, hey, I just got my bell rung, I'm fine. But I think our guys up top do a good job of looking for that. And, once you determine that they have a concussion, then he'll be examined thoroughly today. If he's symptomatic, then you continue to stay, you continue to go through that protocol, that pathway. If he's not, then you want him to obviously put days together that he's not symptomatic. And, we have a very thorough protocol as to how that will go. And certainly players play after they've had a concussion on Sundays, and certainly there's players that don't play, for a week or 2 weeks or even longer. So that's part of our protocol. I think we continue to look for ways to get better in it, but I think we're right now doing a solid job, but you can always be better at things like that when you're wanting to protect your players.
I know it's really tough to say the day after the game. I was curious, is there any thought or insight as to Sam Williams and how he's going to be looking health-wise going forward?
Well, I mean, he played yesterday and played well. I don't know what you're referring to, unless I missed something. He's certainly not on our injury report.
Oh, okay. I thought he dropped out from some plays where I would have normally thought he was in the game. So that's good to hear.
No, he played fine. We obviously had Basham up. We had quite a few pass rushers. Played Micah Moore at linebacker, and no, Sam was in there. Obviously made a big sack for us and played well for us. He did miss the week before, but he's recovered and feels good and is 100% ready to go, or as 100% as you can be in this league. And certainly he's not on any type of report as far as I know, unless I've missed something.
Awesome.
Great to hear there. You did talk about Micah and playing more linebacker, and just seemed like, and we're used to it. We're spoiled, Stephen, at this point by seeing every week that Micah has a huge impact on the game, and it didn't feel like he quite had that kind of impact. Was it because Barr was out and that was kind of the reason? What are we looking at with Micah there?
I think that the greatness of Micah, and I don't disagree, but maybe not felt him as much, but that can happen. I mean, obviously when the other team breaks a huddle, they're looking to find him, but one of the things Dan's been great at is moving him around and certainly bringing pressure, not only from a typical end position, but through blitzes and games and things of that nature. But, it was one of those games where they did a good job with him. And, as you said, they didn't throw it many times. They threw it 11 times, and I think Micah had 7 or 8 tackles. So, as you said, everybody's expecting the explosive play where he either has a major sack or a major strip or that type of thing. But, for whatever the reason, that happens in the NFL, where even great players don't get their opportunity to make an explosive play. But, like I said, I think he was either second or third on the team in tackles and, had some pressures. But, I like you. I mean, you just didn't feel that explosive play, which is unbelievable, seems to do almost every game.
Stephen, obviously a lot of Cowboy fans have their opinions on the 2 interceptions and whose fault it was or how it happened. Can you go over both interceptions and explain what happened?
Well, I'll leave that to the coaches and the players and that type of thing. I don't think it does any good to, rehash that. The players and the coaches know what's going on there, and that's between them. If they care to share that, that's what they'll do. But, you certainly want to clean turnovers up. That's the difference in ball games, and, had an opportunity there at the end. I thought Kelvin Joseph did a hell of a job making a play on Jones down the sideline, stripped it, and the ball just had guys all around it. The ball just bounced right back into his hands. So, I thought he did a good job of stepping up, but you certainly the turnovers are key, and you can't lose that battle and expect to win a lot of games. But I think we may have ended up even yesterday, but it was right there for the taking. If we get that turnover, that's a huge difference.
The second consecutive week of Tony Pollard playing very, very well. And I guess talk about his game there, but does he look like he can be a number 1 back in this league?
Like I said, I think he's stepping up as we would expect. He's a competitor. At the same time, I know it pains Zeke not to be out there. I just think we're fortunate, and I think we're a better team when we have them both. And certainly fresh, but hats off to Pollard. He's just doing a hell of a job out there for us. I think he, was over 5 yards a carry, if not right at it.
He was over.
And really stepped up and did a great job running the football for us.
Did you feel like you missed Zeke then in that respect yesterday when it came to maybe some of the play calling late, that maybe you would have just pounded away a little more with Zeke late?
Yeah, I think you miss that part of our offense when you don't have Zeke. I mean, his physical running style wears defenses down, and if you're going to go up and hit Zeke, you're going to feel it. And we were doing everything we can, and I know Zeke was, to get ready to play in that game. It was a game that would be, was great for him. In terms of playing in, cold conditions on a Lambeau field. That's part of what you get when you go up there, and that's why, you have home field advantages. But certainly, there's no excuse, but you miss Zeke. Tony stepped up. Hats off to him. I thought Malik stepped up and did a great job as well, running the football for us. And, that's what these guys have done. That was just a very tough loss, but hats off to the Packers.
Would the anticipation or the hope, I guess, at least be that Zeke would be back for the Vikings then?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's certainly what we're hoping for. I mean, we were hoping for him to get back against the Packers, and I know Zeke wanted to play against the Bears. So, we got to continue to work to get him to where he's in a spot to where we all feel like he feels good and can make a difference for us.
Now, going into the next game, I know every game in the NFL is important, but do you guys view the Vikings as, maybe some sort of bellwether, as a team that will definitely be in the playoffs, and these are the kind of teams that you're eventually going to need to beat?
Yeah, we go into every game thinking, we got to win this game. I mean, that's the mentality you got to have in this league. As I said, you're going to run up against a problem if you don't come with sharpness, with your focus on winning a football game. And you can't say, hey, this one's the Vikings, this one's the Eagles, this one's the Giants, this one's, you just got to come focused. You got to come, with your eye on the ball and ready to play in this league, or you'll get beat.
Well, we appreciate the time as always, and hopefully we'll revisit next week. It'll be after a big time victory.
Sounds good, guys. Great being on with you.